Hello everyone, this is Lewis and I'm continuing on with a part 2 to the compare and contrast history of graphic design videos. So if you remember the last video we talked on cuneiform and ancient Sumerians with how they used their clay tablets and recorded information. So today we're going to be going ahead quite far, several hundreds, about a thousand or so years. We're heading to medieval Europe, and this one's going to be more on the technical side of design as opposed to the more sort of loose connections. Today we're going to be talking about medieval typefaces and how they were developed as opposed to modern typefaces, which we have. So, to go into a bit of backstory, many of the typefaces used during medieval Europe were very hard to read. They all looked very similar, sort of with a diamond-ish top and bottom shape. And today, when we have hard to read type, we have glasses, we have light and such that we can read things if we work ourselves a little bit. But think of it this way: if you were a peasant who didn't really practice reading a lot, and you don't have a lot of light, you have like a small candle on your bedside, and you try to look at this and all the lines look extremely the same and they're all really condensed together. It was an absolute nightmare to attempt to process what you were reading. So there were two designers who came to make a new typeface to try and fix it and make things easier. So the main thing about designing these old typefaces was that it needed to be very, very legible, and it can't has to be able to be understood in dark conditions. Now, the main issue with it was that this was very widespread. Most of the books that were written like this were Bibles, because the church had a huge sort of hit or pin on any sort of text. So you have to go through the church in order to modify or change these in any way. So it was very, very hard and slow going to first change these typefaces. That was until 1366, where a Petrarch Salutati got into touch with a Italian scholar called Boccaccio, and that to let him know that his books that he had written were being copied, and that this new style was a style that was very hard to read before. So when they had read that, he realized, I need to do something to fix this, because my books that I wrote are being produced in a manner that's very hard to read. So they decided to change it up to a Gothic script, and you'll notice that that word Gothic is used a lot in modern design with typefaces and such. So Gothic just refers to this era of time where we were making these new fonts, and then that's where we get the terms, with Gothic architecture and such like that. It's just the time period. But they decided to start making this Humanist script. And what the Humanist script did was that it sort of broke up the heavy black letter forms into more of a flowing type that we see today if you ever look at a sans serif typeface, or the Humanist sans that's very much inspired by this typeface, where it's very easy to read. So they started to design that. The main reason why they designed it in this particular manner was just because it was easy to read, and the main thing is that it could even be read in low light, which is really, really important, because most people read at night when they were done with work or done with whatever sort of job they had at the time. And compare that to today when we design typefaces. So many modern graphic designers, when they design a new typeface, the sort of readability is still important. You're designing type; it has to be legible, but you have a bit more leeway with how you're doing it. So there is a need for aesthetics. Your type must look good in a particular manner, and you need to put in your personality in a way, because with so many typefaces that are all over the world right now, you need to put something into the typeface to make it look unique, to fulfill a specific purpose. Whereas in medieval times, it was literally just we physically cannot read this. We need to make something new to help us read it. And one thing that is important is that with the education of creating typefaces and graphic designers and such, many of the facets of what we learn in typography today, such as cap width, cap height, baseline, we have all these technical aspects of type to know what looks good, that we're able to focus on aesthetics and such, whereas the study of typography was very rudimentary, most likely not at all really studied at this point in medieval times. However, there was an important thing. Despite how different they were, the core of both methods was to make it so that we could understand the message, because graphic design is all about producing a message in the most efficient manner possible. And whereas these artists and scholars in medieval times, while they weren't exactly graphic designers how we would judge them today, they still had the same mentality of producing a message and seeing a problem. As many people call graphic designers, and some graphic designers consider themselves problem solvers, they saw a problem with how type was being abused and not getting the full use out of the page it's printed on. And they saw this problem, they said, we need to fix this. So this one is a very short video, because this is really setting the groundwork for a later video in which we will talk about where this type progresses. And where this type will progress is to the medieval manuscripts of Europe. So I hope you're all looking forward to that. I know this was a rather short one, but stay tuned for the next one. Bye.